probably all stinky and sweaty because it's only you feeling them. You're going to take your ring finger, put it between your 5th toe and your 4th toe, and then your middle finger. Basically, leave your fingers between your toes. Right? And in yoga, they have these things called joy toes or toe spreaders, where you can actually open these up, because all the metatarsals just said, so Lynn, you really need to get these, right? Open up your toes. Great for your forefoot. Now, with your other hand, you want to hang on to your talus, particularly if you've had an ankle sprain, because this isn't about mucking up your ankle. So hold your ankle still, and then just take your foot around in a circle. Okay? And then go clockwise and counterclockwise. And you'll find that there's space as you go by where you go, oh God, that feels a little bit tight. So just, stay there, stretch down a little bit. And I have a small release ball that I sort of keep in my bathroom drawer. And I brush my teeth morning and night. I kind of roll my feet out. So I sort of find that all the muscles in the bottom of your foot tend to get really tight. Okay, now come on up to standing. And just feel what that little bit of release did to the bottom of your foot. Compare the foot that you opened up a bit compared to the other. It just feels more open. And our feet should be like springs. They need to be able to flatten and contract. And just like the pelvic floor, if they're all tightened up like this, they don't work very well for us for shock absorption, right? So down you go again, do your other foot. All right, now, come down onto your back in hook line. So down onto your back, bend your knees up. Now, if you're working with somebody with prolapse, I would support their pelvis on a yoga block or the hips up so that their pelvis is higher than the diaphragm. And this is a really nice way just to let everything, all your guts, come back up onto your diaphragm. And you can also have a supported block under the pelvis and then have their feet up the wall, right? So they can be working with just plugging the femur heads back into the back of the pelvis and just being in that position, this anti-gravity position, if you like, can be really quite nice. We don't have yoga blocks right now, so just come back down to neutral. Now, we're going to do this ring, stack, and breathe. So you want to correct your drivers. So Lynn, it's going to be your hip. I can't remember if we have any pelvic drivers, but for most of you, so whoever's not doing the video, Helen or Jen, if you could go and stack Jocelyn's neck at C2 and just distract her occipital temporal suture on that left side. Okay, so gap the OT suture on the left, traction the lower joint, her neck will feel a whole lot better as we do this. Okay? All right, so go find your ring shifts wherever they are, 4 and 8. Hopefully there's just one now that we've done the ring, stack, and breathe and you're taped up a little bit. And just take some nice deep breaths. Inhale through your nose, out through your mouth. Let everything go, let everything just land on the ground. Walk your feet out sideways to the side of the mat. Just a gentle connection to your pelvic floor as you keep your rings stacked. Just feel what that feels like. By this stage of the game, you should be working, you should know what your connect cue is, whether it's an anus to back of pubic bone, whether you need to do more on the right, more on the left, whatever you need to let go. Connect to that deep system very gently, and on the exhale breath, take your knees over to the right. Only go so far as you can go with your thorax staying very grounded on the mat. Inhale, exhale, connect, and bring your knees back with your pelvis. So de-rotate your pelvis to bring your legs back up. Inhale, exhale, connect with your knees to the left. Inhale, exhale, connect. Take your knees back to the center. Okay, turn over onto your side, and then onto 4-point kneeling. And then come up to standing. Standing. Again, inhale, arms up. Put a micro bend in your knees, and surely tilt your pelvis Fold forward so you can get your fingers on the floor. Now, if you can't get your fingers on the floor, this is where we put your hands on the block, okay? Now, spread your toes. Really spread your toes. Push your big toe mound, your first metatarsal joint, into the ground. Push your inner heel into the ground. Push your pinky toe into the ground. Push your outer heel into the ground. Ground the foot. Draw your inner shins together, so draw your ankle bones together. And as much as you draw your ankle bones together, take your sitting bones and your upper thighs in, back, and apart. This is called shins in, thighs out. Beautiful for opening pelvic floor. Connect. Circle your shoulders onto your back. Put your hands on your hips. Stay connected. Push down through your feet. Come on. Now, watch for a moment, okay? Check your forward bend. See how far down you can go. Okay, check your forward bend. Yeah. Check your forward bend. And then come on back up. You're going to go into partners of two. You're going to sit behind your partner. Put a bend in your knees, like that. Cool. Now, I'm going to sneak in behind so that my adductors, or my inner thighs, are on her calves. All right? Okay, you bend forward, down you go, put your hands on the floor. Okay. So now I'm going to help her with this shins in, thighs out, all right? So, push your calves out into my, push, 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 push. Come on, you're stronger than that. Now I'm going to reach up and take her inner thighs and square them. Good, and release. Come on, back up. And bend forward. Yeah. Is it better? Yeah, okay, try it on one another. It really releases the hamstring, push your pelvic floor. Okay, so if you look at one another in down dog, you can see, put a micro bend in your knees. This is not about, I don't want this, not about hamstrings now. This is thorax on pelvis, okay? This is prolapse. This is load the diaphragm. This is get the diaphragm up into the thorax. Okay, so bend your knees a bit. I can stabilize her here. I can take out a TPR.
Kelly. Sorry.
I can take out a ring shift. Now puff up the back of your kidneys a bit. There we go. That's it. Now keep that. Put a little bit more lordosis into your back. Beautiful. So I can play with her posture upside down. I can come down here. In the privacy of our own treatment room, I can palpate her pelvic floor externally. Blah, blah, blah. You can do all that sort of stuff. I can give her some pelvic support. Now, you're going to love this. This really releases the rings. So I'm going to compress her pelvis, force closure pelvis. Now I'm going to push down into her feet. Nikki, push your hands into the mat. More, 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 more. Go, 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 go. Push harder, push harder, push harder. So she's pushing her hands into the mat. I'm pushing her pelvis away. And her whole back line on her abdominal wall just will relax and lengthen. Okay? Come on back up, standing. You don't do this on anyone with dural drivers. Jocelyn, don't go near this, okay? Anybody that doesn't have length in their dura, Sue, don't do this one. Bend, keep your knees bent. Anteriorly tilt your pelvis, seat your femur head. Dump your organs onto your diaphragm. Open your ribs. Put your fingers on the floor. Wide fingertip stance. So keep your shoulders nice and wide. Let your head hang. Keep your knees bent. Okay, now connect. Fold your arms together. Like, remember I Dream of Jeannie? Fold your arms together so that you don't have to take the weight of your arms, and just let your shoulders slide off your thorax. Now just start to rotate like a pendulum. Upside down rotation. Put your hands back on the ground. Keep your right hand on the ground. Walk your left hand under your right arm. Hang on to the outside of your right shin. Keep your knees as bent as you need them to be. This isn't about the hamstring. You don't want any sciatica. Now, you're going to push your leg into your hand. Pull your hand into your leg. So push that leg out. Walk your right hand further forward. Lengthen and open the ribs, and into that space, turn your chest. A couple breaths here. Slowly release. Come back to center. Connect. Full squat. Come down into a squat. Push up to standing. And then bring your feet together and feel what it feels like to only do a twist one leg. I feel very crooked. So let's go back and do the other side. Feet apart. But if somebody was really twisted one way, maybe you would only give them one leg, right? Okay, anterior tilt, hands down. Dream a knee, walk and wiggle. And you can make this, when you're working with somebody with this, you would be specifically on their driver, during their ring corrections, etc., okay? Walk your right hand under your left. Reach your left outer shin. Relax. Let it go. Release. Connect. Pull your hand into your shin. Push your shin into your hand. If that gives you a little bit more length in your thorax, see if you can turn a little further under your arm, not through your head and neck, but turning from the sternum, turning from your heart center. Couple breaths here. Release. Big bend in your knees, big bend in your knees. Connect. Put your elbows on your knees. Drop your bum, drop your bum. Drop your bum. And play with your hip now, one side and the other side. Deeper, deeper, deeper into the flexion. Stand with your right foot. Let's go into a lunge. Stand with your right foot on the mat. Now your back foot can, depending on your, you're welcome. Standing with your back foot, it can either, in Anusara Yoga, they like it to be parallel to the back of the mat. In Ashtanga, it's more 45 degrees. For me, it depends on the person's hip geometry. What's comfortable, and where can you keep the back of the hip centered and stacked? Then, bend into your front knee. Put your right elbow on your thigh. Now, this is one of my most favorite therapeutic poses for the deep front line and for taking out IPTs, TPRs, ITTs, TTRs, all the crazy twists that we have in the system. Now, stick your bum out backwards. That helps you seat your femoral heads. Now, keep your left inner thigh lifted up as you reach your right sitting bone down towards the floor. This left intrapelvic torsion. Now, root down the outside of your left leg. Push down to the back of the left leg. Bring your hands up onto the left side of your rib cage. And side body long. So don't extend, don't flex. Lengthen both sides of the rib cage. Now, into that length, see if you can twist the lower thorax, the upper thorax. Take your arm up over your head. Root down. Root to rise. Push into your foot. Push into your hand. Couple breaths. Inhale, come back up. Switch sides. Okay. Lunge forward, inhale, put your elbow on your knee. One side you're going to find is a lot harder than the other. I certainly do. Stick your butt out backwards. Lift your right inner thigh up and back. Keep that as you reach your left sitting bone down towards the floor. You only go as far as you can go and maintain centered femoral heads. So it may be back inner thigh lift, right ischium rooting down. So you're playing with that intrapelvic torsion with centered femoral heads. Side body long. Float the rings. Don't extend, don't flex. Rotate the lower thorax, upper thorax. Reach your arm forward to the partner in front of you. Slide your scapula onto your chest. There's your serratus stretch. Take your hand up to the ceiling and then over your head. Root. Lengthen. Rotate. And extend out. And then come back. Thumbs up. And hands through heart center, put your feet apart, turn your feet out a little bit. Down full squat. Full squat. Put your elbows into your inner knees. Push those knees apart.
Get your hips to really seat. Open the pelvic floor. Squeeze the adductors into your elbows. Release. Squeeze. Release. Put your hands down on the floor. Ready? Ready? Connect. Lift your butt. Squeeze. Connect. Lift one foot. One foot. Bakasana. All right.